Hey.
Good day and welcome to a Hat Chat podcast. It is episode 18.
18.
Out of 18. No, I don't have
Out of a
end
possible
date.
18 Goldblums.
So that was by Matthew Weir. Little fingle. Fan jingle.
Do you
Send them
pronounce
in.
it where or where?
Should have said where. Because it's written where. But
Matthew Weir.
I'm now going to call him Matthew Weir.
Matthew Weir.
Cheers, Matt, for sending that in.
Where? Yeah. I think Weir would be in the surname sense, W-E-I-R.
Yeah.
No, I totally said it wrong. Yeah, definitely. I completely read it wrong.
Please send in your fingles to hatchat at hat-films.com.
And make sure you write how to pronounce your last name.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to.
That
was my error. I'm owning that error. I just read it wrong.
Tyne and...
I'm running out of fingles. Please send them in.
Weir.
No swearing and socks wards.
Socks wards. There will be socks wards.
You can't read. He's losing his ability to read.
These words are jumping all over the page.
Who are you, by the way?
My name is Ross Hornby.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for asking, Chris Trott.
That's my name, Chris Trott.
My name's Alex Smith. I've been mainly speaking with a frog lodged firmly in my throat.
It's a very weird way to do
Ribbit.
Sorry. What have we got?
What have we got? We haven't.
Three voices.
We have 3 voices.
In an echo chamber.
Well, technically, we have a myriad of voices because obviously we're all highly qualified role players.
Also, I've tried to cut down the echo. Look, we put the
Did you
put the stuff up there? So there's
foam,
foam on the ceiling.
Yeah. Is that more foam?
Well, Trott just said we were in an echo chamber, and I've tried very hard to make sure that there is no echo and or reverb.
So that was just a joke.
Yeah.
You haven't actually put any more foam up.
No, the foam is.
Exactly
you would notice if there was more foam up.
I thought I would, yeah, but then you brought it up, and I was like, maybe there is more foam. I haven't been counting.
Anyway,
coming at the weekend and did it.
I've foamed everything.
I mean, possibly.
I'd have to use a spray foam. But yeah, there is no particular guidance for today. There's no theme, other than that we're really cool people and we make videos online and we have a lot of funny stories.
How many people do you think turned off the podcast just after you said that?
3.
You think 3 out of the possible 5?
There's always 1 or 3 dislikers, isn't there, on a YouTube video? So I guarantee there's always the one that's just like, nah, you know what? I don't know why I even started listening to this.
Yeah.
Just
It's like me downvoting GTA maps.
Yeah.
You know?
That guy.
Yeah, but I feel like that doesn't really make much of a difference, does it? Downvoting GTA maps.
Some people have livelihoods.
But one thing
on GTA maps.
Do they?
That's what they're known for.
Yeah,
like Kanoki.
They're not earning money from it, are they?
Do you browse things based on their rating when you're looking for maps?
No. Just if we played it before, it looks interesting.
It's a totally irrelevant
that isn't even a metric that I think you can go by rated, but it's all just the same maps. So
or it's like RP exploits and things like that,
exactly.
or money exploits.
It's bollocks. But apparently people like watching us shoot ourselves, is what I've learned this week. Because one of our videos did really, really, really well.
Yeah, like abnormally well, which is like, what are you doing, YouTube? What's happening? Like,
it's a good thing.
It's great.
I mean, I'm not annoyed. You sounded very annoyed.
I'm annoyed at YouTube being inconsistent.
We have no idea why it succeeded and how to make anything else succeed.
What's happened to your voice there?
The frog.
I had quite a lot of like greasy Caribbean food at lunch, and it's
still there.
You know when you have too much like McDonald's or a milkshake, you get that. What were we calling it a while back?
You get the
McDonald's cough, or like
McDonald's cough,
clog throat.
You're like,
but then you tried to play it off like you didn't have that.
I'm super phlegmy.
You tried to play it off like we couldn't hear that weird voice.
I'm not trying to do it. It's not like, I wish my voice sounded like, most of my holes were blocked, which of course they are because I'm a corker. And I encourage.
That's gross.
I encourage anybody else to try corking.
That's the McDonald's cough.
I haven't had McDonald's though.
That's just a classic Ross Hornby cough.
I just cough.
That's the wow. You should probably get that looked at, Ross. You seem to always have a very deep, painful lung cough.
I don't know what it is.
Probably fine.
TB. I'm still.
Just put it off. Put it off.
I'm still. See the doctor next week.
I'll get him.
You've had TB for 10 years, going on 10 years now.
I'll catch him.
I'll
bump into a doctor. If you're a doctor, just come round to the office.
Sort it out.
Saves us time.
Please just.
I'll cough in your face.
That'd be interesting to get like a general health checkup in a hat chat, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, now breathe.
A real doctor.
Yeah.
Like Simon Clark from last week. That's right, Simon. I said real. A healing doctor.
The thing is, I don't think a doctor would be capable of doing a full suite of tests like there and then.
Why not? They bring their
Well,
stethoscope.
because blood tests have to be sent off, various machinery and equipment you need to like properly like look at the structure
prostate
of
exam
somebody's
they
body.
can do.
Well, yeah, they can do the ones like
Yeah,
you
but
just want
Simon
the doctor
could
to
have
come
done
here
that.
and stuck your finger up your ass. I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
if you
can all
want
do our
but
own prostate
Do you know if
tests.
it's good or bad?
Yeah, I can give you. It's meant to be
Yeah.
smooth, isn't it? It's meant to be the
Well,
prostate's meant
it's all
to be.
about if you're enjoying yourself.
Have you
isn't it?
felt-
As long as you're having a good time.
Yeah.
You felt a prostate before to know what should
No,
be.
but I have
No.
read or watched a video about what to look for.
It's an expert in walnuts. Walnut handling.
What shouldn't it feel like? Hard.
It
Shouldn't feel like
it
a
shouldn't
jagged
feel
rock.
like uneven and bumpy and all that sort of stuff. Like it should just feel like a nice smooth bit of fillet.
Have you felt yours?
No.
No.
Of course not. I can't
Of course not.
I'm not fucking weird.
Oh, your entire
I just
posture's
watch
changed.
videos on how to tell whether or not the prostate is healthy. You never know at some point.
I want to know why they put it's basically a pleasure button up your ass.
Pleasure button. Why?
Um,
What do you mean why?
It's to do with the biomechanics of ejaculation.
Right.
I like your thing is
Why
things
up
they're
the butt
building
then?
us like robots.
Because I think, don't quote me on this,
Here's our echo
it
chamber in
acts
action.
like a rudimentary like pumping system. So the reason,
What the shit?
no, the prostate does. So
why is
kind of
it
like
there?
goes, and then it just goes
Is it
like
like
that,
an
and then it goes,
interlocking?
like
It's
that.
like a clutch.
So you shit yourself when you pleasure
It's like
yourself.
a clutch in a car.
No, but the reason that having a shit, sometimes people like having shit. It's like, oh, it feels good. It's because it's putting pressure.
Why is it there?
Is it not just a
on the
relief
prostate.
as well?
But I think it's biomechanical. So the only place it could be put, and also,
I reckon you could put it in the belly button
you think
and just attach
I
it
don't
via
think so.
cables or
What?
whatever you call it.
So that you
Nerves,
can
that's
push
the
it with
one.
ease. Is that what you're saying? I want to push that button with ease. Someone's
I want it more
fingering their
accessible.
belly
Yeah, but
button.
the thing is, it's like
That
getting
becomes weird.
circumcised. You'll lose the sensation after a while if it's like somewhere
That's-
easily accessible.
Too much. Everything in moderation, right?
Yeah,
Is that
like
what you're trying-
well, you don't want your prostate to become callous, like a hard.
I don't want it
cheese.
exposed. I just want it a bit more accessible than in the arse.
Where's more accessible? Like the inside of your mouth, the inside of your. It's still not.
He just doesn't want
Choose
to
one.
In the penis.
Accessible.
He just doesn't want to get his hands
Not
dirty. He doesn't want to
exposed.
get his hands dirty.
In the
I get it.
penis.
In the penis.
In the penis. Well,
Like, it
but
doesn't
is
have to be that shape, right? What if it's just part of the tubing? Like the sponge bit. There's just a ring at the bottom, like a cock ring, but it's a prostate.
But there's already sensation, like
I
in
want
that
more
part.
though. Yeah, but the prostate's out of action.
It's not out of action. The prostate is part of the male orgasm. So when like, it's not just
Yeah, but
out
you can
the
get
way.
more out
not-
of it by actively rubbing against it, right?
You can stimulate.
you have the option to
an
do that.
orgasm.
You can do that yourself.
I know, but it's
You just mean in terms of
It's a
just
lot of
you don't
work.
want to get in there.
it's awkward.
I don't think that. I don't know. I think that the
Wow.
prostate is always part of the male orgasm, and it's simply another way to stimulate it versus the more traditional means.
Did you guys see they made like a mech suit
But
For that guy.
for a guy who's like paralyzed?
Yeah.
and he used his mind to like control aspects of it. And they put like,
How does this link to prostates?
well, it's just what if
Right, yeah, here we go.
you then put that on your brain, and then you just had like a little button, and you're just like, whoa.
Prostate.
It doesn't have to be prostate. It needs. You mean pleasure, right?
You don't need a button.
Is that what you're saying?
You don't need a button. You just think about it.
Oh, that's
Think
it.
about
You just
So this guy had these. It's quite
it's like
amazing.
tantric.
He had these two huge like sensors put in his
Yeah.
skull onto
Yeah.
his brain. They each had 16 points
64.
each. 64 points each.
Yeah.
It's
Of-
crazy
of
that you can just
measurement.
like. If you look at this chip, I've looked at this as well. The chip is what, that big?
Yeah.
literally looks like a-
It looks big.
It looks like a
It's like
CPU,
CPU, yeah.
like a,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
big
yeah.
CPU.
Yeah.
All of these little pins are equidistant,
Mhm.
and you just shove it on your
Just
brain. And it
shove
works.
it on those parts which
How?
control movement.
Well, I'm guessing they measure where they put
Well,
it.
is
Yeah, but
it
they're all like
to do with
It's like a computer chip.
electrically charging certain points and seeing what stimulates something else?
So is it just
So I
electrical
guess-
signals to that general area? or
I mean,
what?
we're getting into brain surgery here, and I think we can't even figure out what's going on with the prostate. We're now just trying to pinpoint how the hell do we get. So you
You think like they
shove a
just-
CPU chip on your brain and see
I
what
think
happens.
how it works is they measure. So they look at a brain, an active, healthy brain, when a person is walking. They measure that using like
and where
you know,
the signals come from?
yeah, and then they basically these chips or these sensors are looking for brain activity in those particular areas, and then that tells the computer, okay, this means he wants to move his left leg, knee forward, move forward.
So is it
Press A to
localized
run.
clusters of
Yeah.
electrical signals?
Yeah,
like
or-
certain
yeah,
areas
yeah.
flare up.
So yeah, there's activity.
Yeah.
So you can do
Like if you think of walk,
CT scans, I think it is, that show the activity of your brain.
so it's complicated, right? Because
hugely
if you think
complicated.
about walking,
Jeez.
you're not only thinking about walking, you're thinking of the word walking, which is disassociated from the action walking.
Right.
That's 2 centers of your brain in action, right?
Yeah.
So you thinking about walking is like you.
You picture a man walking? Do you
exactly.
think?
Do you picture a man walking, or do you think
Man,
about
I've never
it?
thought about walking before.
Or do you think? But I guess you would have to train yourself to think differently in order to basically just as a new control system.
Yeah.
What I think's going on.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
This
here we
is
go.
a Chinese conspiracy.
Why is it
And
Chinese?
Ultimately, this doesn't exist.
Which part of China?
That's why it's Chinese. We don't know
Hong Kong.
Is Tibet China?
specifically.
Would you class Tibet as China?
I don't know. Why? Is it under dispute?
Contentious issue,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
very
So-
contentious, Trott. So you think it's
What
Chinese?
was- where were you going with this? What the conspiracy of this MECHS? I keep calling it
I don't
MECHS.
thi-
It's like more like a skeleton, exoskeleton.
What was it?
isn't
Robobob.
I think it's what it's
Robo
doing.
Bob. I don't
It's
know
not
what his name is.
actively telling each individual limb to do something. I think that mech is pre-programmed to walk.
You think so?
And I think all he's doing is thinking walk. That's being decoded
Go.
to a
You say that
trigger
it doesn't
command.
seem to move in a way that says it's using a pre-program walk, because they could definitely pre-program a better fucking walk than this guy's
But what
But
policy.
if
it
it
might be a
was-
safe walk for someone that's paralyzed.
Could you
does-
hook it up to like a Tobii eye tracker
Mm.
and like just look where you want to go, and then your body just it just takes you there?
Yeah,
and
you
it's
could just like also
go
walk.
there, double blink,
Yeah.
and then
Well, yeah, that's a different system entirely, isn't it? I'd
Yeah.
see that. I don't think that is the system
Okay.
they're using. I think that's what you're suggesting.
I think.
feel like my
I
system's
saw at the end
easier.
of the article that
Yeah.
they're saying that they're in the future they're going to be able to individually control individual limbs.
yeah.
So it suggests to me that there's a global system going on where they're just walking forward by thinking of walk, and then that's being decoded to a command called walk, which is a pre-programmed animation.
yeah, that's a pretty good.
Do either of you
argument.
know? I mean, it's a risky question to
That's
ask.
why it's a
either of you,
conspiracy.
but do you, you know where they?
Well, you think
they've
Chinese
had-
people are just going to march the mech suits back to the motherland?
Yeah, I have no control.
All of a sudden, everybody's got these special assistants.
All they've got is walk.
Where am I going?
Jesus Christ!
And then guns and blades just fold out of the arms. Like,
I didn't know it had this feature.
I'm sorry, dear.
This isn't me. This isn't what I'm trying
That's
to
not
do.
the only function on that mech is walk.
Well,
It's
you know,
destroy.
that's a possibility that
Kill.
I'm sure they'll think about later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry.
Xiaomi's bought all of this
Why is
technology
Xiaomi
up for
got
some reason.
everything?
What were you going to say?
About mech arms. You've seen people can move their hands individually, fingers independently. I'm
Again,
not sure
is
whether
that-
that's attached to like tendons though.
I think that's
I'm not
on
sure if that's
nerve
nerves
signals,
on the
isn't it?
actual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
Maybe
is.
not brain
Individual nerves.
related.
That's technology where they are picking up on the nerves being sent to the individual
Yeah.
fingers, I think.
'Cause that's amazing. Like just seeing that in
It's pretty
action
sweet.
looks
But
incredible.
again,
Yeah.
just some moments away from strangling yourself.
Set to auto asphyxiate mode. Set to
Adjust-
pleasure mode only.
Adjust tension up by 50%. Perfect.
It's reading your pulse rate. It knows. It's safe. It knows.
The ultimate auto asphyxiate
It's
wank
got
buddy.
limits. It's got limits.
It's got a safety. The safety's going to kick in.
We're getting a lot of sales in Thailand for some reason.
What's that?
Flying off the shelves for
There's
people
a
who
word
have
that-
both arms.
It's a word that's not in English. It's a French word where you actively think of your own death. Like when you're driving, for example, you picture yourself going off the edge or going into traffic, and it's
You
not.
do?
It's
Well,
not
when you're driving?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good thing you don't have a car.
The reason you do it is it's not you wanting to do it. It's your survival instinct telling you if you don't continue being safe,
It's hazard awareness.
this is
isn't it?
these are all the different possible bad outcomes. So
Yeah.
it's a French term for it.
You're on the blinkers when you go around a mountain, that's for sure. Remember when we were driving that RV around a mountain? That was scary.
What? Which one? The one at night?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, well, it was just because we were so close to the edge. It's just like we didn't really know. And also that time we were in Oregon, and he was driving around these mountains that were like just thin,
Oh,
narrow
yeah.
roads. That's when you're just like, God, I can picture myself really going over that edge.
Oh, what,
because
when-
I'm closer than the driver.
In the shuttle or like,
shuttle, yeah.
Or even like other situations where you're like, I'm just walking along the side of the road, and you picture yourself just like, I could just jump in front of a car.
Yeah.
And you think of that sometimes where it's just like, that's the danger there. That's
Yeah.
why I shouldn't do that because that sounds bad.
It's annoying that you can't try it.
And
just to
some
see
people-
what it was like, isn't it? Just
annoying.
to know. Like,
can't
oh,
just
now
have
I
like a-
don't want to do that. That really did hurt.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
you don't know, do you?
That's what your brain is into.
I hate to encourage
extrapolating.
things, but like,
If you could
you
set-
don't know if it hurts to get hit by a car.
But apparently, like a lot of the, this again, spurious facts.
Facts.
Spurious.
If it's spurious, is it even a fact?
Some people have no control over those thoughts or are driven to do those thoughts.
Like
it's
just
like
like
a breakdown of
like
that
a
survival
living
instinct.
Tourette's.
Yeah, it's a breakdown of that instinct to I have to do that because I keep getting visions of doing it, and then they act it out.
What if
What I'm going back to is the mech.
Chinese
the
conspiracy.
mech, right?
The
Okay.
mech, if you're
Right.
having those thoughts,
Oh, I see.
are they separate and different from the action of you doing it? Like, I'm
Potentially.
picturing this mech. Just
You're
like,
You're just talking to a guy like, God, I wish I could punch him in the face.
Yeah. That's
No,
the
I didn't
thing,
mean
like,
this. Stop
I
punching. Stop
think
punching.
You don't know.
Return to base.
That might partly be prevented by the fact that different parts of the brain are responsible
Yeah.
for different elements.
It's not sent to the arm
Yeah.
yet.
So your motor, like
Motor function.
motor
yeah.
functions, are probably more likely to be controlled by a different.
It's like when you're
part.
dreaming, right? Where your motor functions are shut down, but you
There's a
act
certain
out.
little part of the brain that stops you from moving.
Hippocamp.
Hippocampus is part.
I don't
of
know why
it.
there's hippos in our brain.
That's actually
And why they have a campus.
what are they learning?
What are they learning
What?
in there?
Why is no one graduated?
So dumb.
We've all got a hippocampus in our brain. Why?
What's on that curriculum?
Such dumb.
I've been learning about local African art. All right.
Why are they African?
Because they're hippos.
Hippos, yeah.
That makes sense.
I watched a weird film the other day. It was pretty shit. And then I found out it had a sequel, which made me feel even worse because it was awful.
Budget for a sequel. Nice.
But
Not
basically,
that-
it was another Groundhog Day style film.
Right.
But it got me thinking, like, where do you think you would have your reset point or respawn point in your life so that you could either end it now and then reset at that point, or continue living and then when you know you die, you'll then reset back at that point anyway. But you could have had a nice life, but now you have to then go down a different path. Maybe you could explore every single thing in the world because
when
it's
is
an
it
infinite
to
cycle.
bank? When to bank? Is that what you're saying?
In the weakest link terms, yes.
Yeah. When to
Bank.
So what happens? So I say, right, I want to do it now, and that means every time I die, I come back to this point.
This point onwards, right?
Well, why wouldn't you do it as early as possible?
I guess you would, but like
He's trying to find out if we feel like we've made a terrible decision.
when
What? So you
I wanna
say,
reset
would you go
Oh.
back to birth? Sure, or would you? Because you still keep your memories.
Oh God!
That's the weird thing about the
I
Groundhog
wouldn't
Day
want to
thing.
grow up again in a tiny body.
Oh, I would. It'd be fucking amazing.
But you'd have an adult brain.
Imagine
yeah,
how
that would suck.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be amazing. Imagine how much you can fuck with people
You're super like
Yeah, but, like,
unable
you
to
still
do
have
things
to
in that
live.
sense.
for like a few years.
Or would you be more able because you know more things? Therefore, you're like, well, I can still function, and I'm going
you have
to
muscle.
body's-
You have muscle
you're not
development.
But you're
developed
still
yet.
pretty much just in a cage.
You have to wait for puberty and shit.
Yeah. I guess it really depends on like.
You
Like
could be the
puberty
first.
for me wasn't really that bad.
You
Like
could be like a runaway baby.
I would
and
be
live your life.
I'd be the boss baby.
Boss baby.
A film that I will never watch out of protest because it just is
Okay.
just such an horrible concept. Anyway,
Well, it's because Kevin Spacey's in it.
is he?
I don't think he is. Actually, no, he's in the other one. Wait,
There's
is he
another
in this
one.
one? Hang on.
I don't know.
Well, you remember Kevin Spacey made that House of Cards little mini thing he released over Christmas.
That was creepy.
Nothing's come of that, so it was just really just mental.
Yeah.
Was he in it? Was he in it? Alec Baldwin's in it, not
Oh.
fucking. No, he was in Shitty One with a Cat. That's what I'm thinking of. Animated still.
Puss in Boots.
Not important.
But not Puss in
But
Boots, I
you,
doubt.
you would be Boss Baby. I guess you could
No,
potentially.
it wouldn't be a baby, I don't think.
Would it be like the Back to the Future scenario where you could now remember certain scenarios and bet big,
Yeah.
and then you have a lot of cash?
I mean, if we say that
you could become
can
the
do
next
that.
Greta Thunberg, however you say her name.
Well, also, you could probably help avert
Do you reckon
some.
she is a
Do it early though.
What?
Start early.
What, as in get rid of Greta?
Well, no, just scare
I
the
wanna
shit
go
out.
back early
Scare
enough
the
to-
shit out of people earlier,
Yeah.
and then when they.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
I think you could use it to, prevent a lot of disasters.
I don't think so.
No?
I think no matter how knowledgeable and
You'd never
experienced
one
scientist
person.
you are, that you're not going to convince idiots.
I don't know. It doesn't take
And people
much
that
to.
just have money.
You'd have
and
to do
don't
something
want
big.
to hear you.
And obviously, you can't
No,
go back.
but I'm talking about like stopping like bombings and stuff. You could probably do not just
So with the
There's
money,
lots of things
with
you
the
can
lottery win that you obviously somehow memorized
Yeah.
numbers, you could then, I guess, go on some sort of mercenary mission and take down some key players.
The thing is, do you know any lottery
Future.
numbers up till now?
No,
I
but there's
can't
something
memorise
much
any.
easier to remember than lottery
Well,
numbers.
yeah, you can like sports.
pretty much
games
every.
or-
No, not even that. Like pretty much every technological advancement in the last 10 years.
Apple. Invest in Google.
Yeah.
Apple.
Exactly.
Just stocks.
Like if you're going back to when I
Microsoft.
was born, like 1988, like yeah, stocks is an obvious one, but even then you could say, like, you know, come up with all these ideas and designs for things. Just the physicality of them is probably enough to get you a very good job.
Was it the
What
90s?
if Johnny Ive is just doing this? You know, what if he is groundhogging it? And
He's a groundhogger.
and he's
He
just
could be a groundhog.
He's
There's a whole
he's a
elite
ground-
team
there's an
like, in a
elite-
campus somewhere.
what if
groundhog.
Groundhoggers.
Now
the
that-
Groundhog Campus.
That's
a
a better.
film.
That's a better film
That's
than
a better
what you
film.
watched.
Definitely. The
so
one I
there's
watched
various
was
elite people,
like a teen
Who are
horror.
groundhoggers?
and when they realize things has really gone bad, they just blow their brains out or something. Well, there's actually a show called Travelers.
This is not going well.
There's a show called Travelers.
I haven't watched it. It looked cringe, but is it all right?
All right, okay, so they ended it at the 4th season, which is really sad because
It lasted for 4 series.
I know,
That's
right?
Pretty good. You got no.
I enjoyed it. It was one of the first sci-fis that I enjoyed for its human element in a long time. But I can definitely
Not
see
the alien element.
No, because it's about people getting sent back in time, right, to solve problems. But they do it. There's an AI, a super intelligence that sends them back. So the AI, it's like, right, the world is fucked. You've built me. I'm now going to look at all the records we have, all of this data, and go, right, where can we make some changes to stop the world being this fucked again? It's a bit like Terminator, except instead of a super killer robot, they send back teams of people.
Yeah.
But the way they do it is they can only send consciousnesses back. They don't send human bodies back.
Oh.
And so they send it into the, so they look at the historical record of who would have died that day, and they send their consciousness back into that person who's going to die. So that it still kills the host. So the person still dies, but that body is then used by these travelers who are people's consciousness and sent back.
Does that consciousness get restored?
No,
Or
no,
do
because
they die
basically,
as well?
historically, that person was meant to die. So they were about to die that day, or literally that minute.
So the consciousness dies with it, the traveler.
Yeah. So the traveler gets sent back into the body and stops. Like, it's literally like a minute before they die. It's like, right, they were meant to die now. They were meant to get hit by their car, but a minute before it actually happens, the AI sends back a consciousness that stops it from happening, right? So then they, like, the person who it was, their body, they're like, my head, and they die, but then the consciousness sent back from the future goes into their body and it stops them from, you know, the body from being killed, destroyed, or whatever. It's like a host, right? Anyway, what was really cool about that is that they had like set timelines. So a team would be sent back, a team of people would be sent back, and if they didn't manage to fucking pull it off, the AI would be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to help you anymore. I'm not going to send people back to help you anymore. This timeline's fucked because it didn't work. And then they just cut it off. And then those people, those consciousness that were sent back, are stuck there and they just have to live out their lives. It had some really cool concepts.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's called Travelers, if anyone's interested. I really liked it. Anyway.
Do you find you get less travelers these days? I got loads in my teens.
Have you? Well, they used to break onto like our school park, like, you know.
Oh,
like,
no, no, sorry, not in that sense. It's just like when you're driving in a car and like the bumps might, you know, encourage a traveller. You never heard that term?
What was that like? Where
An erection on the go?
Erection, yeah.
Oh, really?
A traveller.
You never had a little cheeky traveller?
Probably, but I
I
don't
used
think
to
it's
get them
anything.
all the
But
time.
I don't think it's
more
anything-
importantly, what was the issue you were having with the travellers? Because travellers stole part of my car once. Which I think I've explained that
That's the other traveller.
they unhooked my exhaust from underneath my car, and I just didn't have one anymore. They took it and sold it for scrap.
One
and
day
that
I-
was it.
One day I left my
sold it for scrap.
Yeah, they sold it for scrap. I had to buy a new one. I was like, what? They went underneath my car and cut off. They didn't unscrew it. They cut off
just to melt
the
it down.
catalytic converter and the and there's money in that.
What's
apparently.
in catalytic converters that's so useful? You know,
I'm not sure if it's
there's
specific
steel. Is it,
metal?
there's some sort of
It's-
reagent
yeah.
in there that converts some of the carbon monoxide.
there's money in it. So I'm just saying. I mean, I don't want to give people ideas out there. I know you're
I came
now
out of a
desperate to
math
get.
lesson when I was about 14 years old, my secondary school, and a small pony chased by a team of dogs of dubious breed just ran past me as I was on my way to the
a dog
field,
hunt.
the school field, and it just turns out that like 60 travellers had just come
School
onto our
fields?
secondary school field and
That
decided to try
happened
and.
at my school.
I mean, illegally,
Why
like
is that always happening at schools?
I don't know, but the
does
police
happen at
turned up
school.
about 2 hours later and they had to go, and then that was it.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what the thought process was there. Right, let's just set it up. Well, it's school, and I mean, it's not even like it was a summer holiday. It was like,
Have you ever been threatened by a traveller though?
No.
Well, I have. So I have experienced that.
it was.
It's not very nice.
What happened?
What happened?
Which time though? Because
What are you
the
doing?
first time I was very young, and
Right.
this is the story that I used in the game show we did, where I was on top of the hay bales.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were climbing hay bales, so it was
And you
stacked like
fell.
a huge like podium thing, and there was like maybe like 20 of them stacked. So it was quite high. Climbed up it, went on the top. Then these two travellers, kids also, climbed up and then just wanted to do like a cage fight style fight on the top of there, and I was just like, I'm okay. One of them brought out a little penknife, threatened us, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm not up for this. but my friend at the time decided to try and fight them, and it got beaten up.
Who was that?
Who? He got hit, and then he ran away. But
who was it? Just someone we know?
No.
Right,
He's
okay.
from like primary school. But
Oh my
that was
God.
one time. Another time, I was just in a park, and then they just tried to take my house keys.
Why?
I dropped my house keys, and this guy picked him up. I goes, "Oh, cheers, thank you." And he goes, "I'm not. What are you gonna give me for him?" I was like, "Fucking hell! Like this is such. Why am I in this scenario? What am I gonna do? Like,
What
I
can
don't
you
have
give
money.
me?
What
Like
did you give
I was like
to him?
11 or 12 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus
But
Christ.
I got quite upset about it. I was just, can I just have my house key? I need to get home.
Yeah.
And that's the only way in.
Did he
And
give him back?
I was worried he might know my address or follow me home, and then has a key
To get in.
to get in.
Did you
I
get
got
him
him back
back?
in the end. Yeah, someone came by and said, "Stop fucking with him. They were older and bigger."
Right.
And yeah,
Was it a young kid?
yeah,
was
he was
threatening
older
you.
than me. But then
Right.
somebody,
Older
an
than
adult,
him.
came by and said, "Just
It wasn't
give
an
it-
adult.
Give it back."
Then there was
No,
threatening you.
No. That would have been a really.
I
bizarre
was about
scenario.
to say.
Just.
I mean, happens though, doesn't it?
That was, well, yeah, evidently it has happened.
Swindon.
Swindon. Well, yeah. More specifically,
Swindon.
Chiselden.
Chiselden.
Yeah,
I used to live in a place called Chiselborough.
lovely. All the
So all
chisels.
the
What about you?
Chiselers. Montacute.
Oh, that's
Not
nice,
even
isn't it?
no chisel in that one.
Not
Bollocks.
Montague from Romeo and Juliet.
You had no
Yeah.
traveller problems.
No,
Oh,
I did.
yeah. Montague had their fair share.
Oh,
They just
okay.
Bear in mind that our school was like pretty much in Montague.
Yeah.
Like it was in the village that I lived in, but
It's just
it
when they
was
like.
in Montague.
It's when they have like the field takeovers.
The field
That's-
takers were interesting.
That's frustrating. Where it's just like we're just here now.
An uprising of dogfights happening. You can hear them.
It's like the
I want 5 down on the black one.
it's like the public park. You know, Montacute.
Yeah.
The public park with like the playground area.
Mhm.
The whole thing was a barren wasteland by the time they left.
Yeah.
It was only like 3 days.
Oh yeah, then
And it was
it's great,
destroyed.
yeah, right.
I will. Probably a good time to stress that these are, you
Our
know,
personal experiences, not necessarily-
tales of yore, if you will, from when
Oh,
we
a
were
long time
like
ago, yeah.
11, and not just you know.
I'm sure the
Hey.
community's different now. Who knows? I don't
Young
follow
teenagers, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kids are assholes given the choice.
Are you
aren't they?
worried we've said something to offend
No,
travellers? If you're
I
a traveller and you're
just-
watching,
I
I'm
just-
sure you're good.
I don't want one of those Top Gear incidents where they start talking about ice creams and then people
Oh,
are like,
yeah.
"Wow, these guys seem really out of touch." You know.
I got threatened twice by travellers, and that's the scenario. That's it. There's no more to it.
Yeah, just retelling what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I had an ice cream and it turned me gay.
Oh my! There was a story in
Well,
this
Craig
which.
raised an interesting point.
It's
earlier
interesting you
before
say that
we
because that does
streamed.
segue onto this story, which is part of the funny news. Well, it's weird
Go on,
news.
then.
A man sues Apple claiming iPhone turned him gay.
Yeah, I saw this. A Russian, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they really
This
have
comes after an
trouble with their
incident involving
sexuality.
gay
There's different
coin
ways
crypto.
of coming out, and I don't think going to Apple's one of them.
So it involves cryptocurrency called Gaycoin. And he's saying he suffered moral harm and is asking for 1 million rubles, which is
12 grand.
12 grand. It's doesn't sound as fantastic as a million. Shit, that currency sounds awful to deal with.
Homosexuality
1 million.
was decriminalized in Russia in 1993, but anti-gay prejudice is still widespread. In 2013, Russia passed legislation banning the spreading of what is described as gay propaganda.
Oh.
This officially bans the promotion of non-traditional lifestyles to minors, but in effect outlaws LGBT activism.
How far back does that traditional lifestyle go back to?
I don't
What's
know.
tradition?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
What is
how far back
tradition?
are we going? Because
Yeah.
okay,
Anyway,
Yeah.
what happened with this? So, in a suit filed on 20th of September, it's claimed a cryptocurrency called Gaycoin was
Yeah.
delivered via a smartphone app rather than the Bitcoin he'd ordered.
yeah.
Cryptocurrency is basically blah, blah, blah. According to the complaint, the Gaycoin cryptocurrency arrived with a note saying, "Don't judge until you try."
He says,
I thought, in truth, how can I judge something without trying? I decided to try same-sex relationships, the complaint wrote.
he literally saw it say, "Well, don't judge until I try it." Wow,
Fair
you know what?
I best
That's a
fucking try.
very reasonable
Like,
note.
Yes, I best fucking try.
Now
this
I
thing.
have a boyfriend and I don't know how to explain this to my parents.
This can't be real. Is
This
it?
can't be real.
a BBC News article. I think
Yeah.
there has to be some sort of verification at least to get this on there.
I'm trusting BBC less nowadays.
Well, yeah, but like
tons
Ross,
of articles coming out on BBC.
Yeah.
But I feel like the editor
crap.
wouldn't let this slip unless, I don't know, fuck me. I mean, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Life has been changed for the worse, and you'll never become normal again.
But he's happy with his boyfriend. Why is that? I just don't understand.
because he's not happy because his country hates him.
Yeah, the prejudice.
of course, right.
That's the problem.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, now my country
But
hates
I'm
him.
He's
gay
also
now.
trying to shift the blame onto
Yeah.
Apple
I can't see that going very far, do you?
and Gatecoin.
In the courts?
No.
They go, well, you know, I mean, what do you say to that guy? Just don't follow every single instruction you ever read
Yeah.
and then just live with it.
And also, I think you might be gay.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't
holy
think
shit.
receiving a gay coin is what turns people gay.
It's like a cursed coin.
Oh, no!
Now I've got to try same sex. Oh, this was good. Now I'm gay. Fuck you, Apple.
The thing is, that's the type of playground shit you would hear from at school.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you dropped your gay coin.
But
It's like,
that kind of attitude is just fucking
my
crazy.
gay coin's in my pocket,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's just like,
No, it's right here.
it's right here. No, it's right here.
But yeah, this is what's
Cancelled.
crazy. It is like schoolyard politics style level of like
Suing someone.
But that's Russia has got a really fucking weird idea of like you say, like traditional and like go. Like I feel like if you're scared or like disdain gay things, it just frames you as this entirely underdeveloped person, doesn't it? Like you know,
From a
like,
frame of mind as someone that's out of that, I guess.
but anything like that, it's like think of a concept. There are very few things out there that people you can be staunchly against and not have some flaw to your thinking, right? Like you know, like there are very few things like that. It's like,
There's always a different
oh, I don't
perspective.
think people should do this. It's like, okay, yeah, so there are some harms to it, but there are also some reasons why they should be allowed to do it. Like, you know, not to get too far into it,
Like
but
stoning.
But
Well,
I
I think
think
more
things-
importantly, if someone went up to this guy in the street and said, I think heroin's pretty good, but you should try it to see if you really think so. Is he going to go out and try heroin? Or was he just already curious?
He just needed
And
an
he just
excuse.
this says that.
well, if
so
somebody made
therefore-
heroin coin, maybe, but
Heroin coin, yeah.
You need a
if he's in the
coin.
crypto world, of course, he'll follow
need
the
a
instructions
coin.
perfectly down to the T.
but yeah, no,
Jesus.
it's a pretty weird world. It just feels like one of those issues that we should be past by now. You know, like I think we've done.
I just can't imagine them picking that up as a lawsuit, going, "Oh, you're being sued because you've made this man gay."
The people
And
versus,
and then also, why is it Apple's fault for the gay coin? Because they sent it to him.
I don't know. That feels like a very
That feels like a loose.
clickbaity title, and
Yeah.
I mean it is probably indicative of the wider concerns we all have for the BBC recently,
Yeah.
which is slowly but surely their website's turning into a clickbait farm.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't
Turning
know why.
into the mirror.
It's like they're taxpayer funded. Why do they need to drive clicks at such an absurd rate?
I don't know, but
Report the news.
I'm more worried about R. Kelly right now.
Why?
Because at the moment his lawyer is complaining that he can only have one of his girlfriends visit him at a time
Nice.
in prison. He's in prison
Unbelievable.
for
This is
imprisoning
an oppression,
women.
This is
I
an
think.
oppression of his rights.
This is I can have two women here.
Why can't
Oh man.
Why can't he only have one?
Well, I mean, so R. Kelly's attorney filed a motion arguing for release on bond, which he bemoaned the singer's visitation privileges that allow him to visit with only one of his girlfriends at a time.
Right.
At
At a time.
a time.
So
So,
he
so
could
surely
have a
they could
queuing
there could be a
system.
queuing system,
Yeah.
and he can see one girlfriend followed by the other girlfriend,
Mm.
which is kind of a weird thing to do currently while he's got allegations of sexual misconduct, and people are saying he's imprisoned these women.
Well, it's a cult. It's definitely
It's a cult,
a
but I mean-
cult-like behavior.
I guess it only normally works when there's a group of them,
Mm.
and he's probably annoyed that he has to speak to them one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because he actually has to interact with them on a
Interact
personal
with
level.
them rather than whatever else
Just
he normally
orgy it
Be a
does.
up.
speaker.
Or
yeah.
just points at
Do
them,
you think that
leads them to the bedroom.
Do you think a departure from
you.
a sense of the average reality is indicative of mental health issues, or do you think it's just a different path that you could take?
I think mental health issues come whatever.
How do you mean that? But in terms of do you think that his
So
lifestyle?
I think that he thinks that's normal.
Yeah, well,
Right,
yes,
right,
yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
this is the issue. I think, yeah, you're
Like-
right. I think him having access to these things for so long, and with no one really questioning him, it's
Is
been
it
like,
like-
I'm allowed to do this because I have been doing this for God knows how long.
Are
Why am I being
are you
punished now?
Suggesting a chicken and egg scenario. What came first? Was it the fame that generated
It's
a mental
more
health
that
issue?
I'm thinking to most of us, and probably for whatever reason, we see that and go, this is crazy. Like he's worried about.
Unless he's a
Like,
Mormon,
Well, this is the thing. So but then
he could claim Mormon rights.
But then,
Can't he? I don't know.
personally, I think anyone that believes in any form of religion is a little bit past my kind of person. However, that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, like why should we judge R. Kelly if he wants to piss on people and have multiple women visit him in prison because he feels that that's normal and that's how he wants to live his life?
I don't think those are the sexual misconduct.
No, there's stuff with like kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
That's the one. Those are the women that are okay with it.
But do we say like, wow, this is bad, this is a cult, this person is either socially ill or mentally ill or struggling with something along these lines, or do we just accept that that's their reality that they're living and they see that rule set? And
I think what it is he's not being condoned for those actions. It's just
condemned.
It's
Well,
condoned as well.
No, condoned is the opposite to condemned. Condone.
we can talk about
it's
for hours
semantics
because it's just such an interesting topic. But like,
I condone this means I allow this.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's not being condoned means he's not being allowed for those particular. So it doesn't condemn.
Well, yeah. Anyway, he's it just makes an interesting article ultimately because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And his behavior is weird, and therefore it makes a news article.
But he's talking about the psychology of R. Kelly. But it also I've been reading or listening to Louis Theroux's recent book. And in that, he talks about, obviously, he did a documentary with Jimmy Savile.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how he lived his lifestyle in a way that he was so free and able to access where he did, like the hospital and whatever, and all these other places and all these fans, that he didn't think it was wrong. And he thought that what he was doing was fine.
No one's stopping him.
No one was stopping him. There was no barrier to entry. He could do all these crazy this shit because of his celebrity and access and money. Because I think he gave like 10 million or fundraised 10 million for that hospital, and so they were like, "Oh wow, that's a lot of money."
He basically owns
as you
it,
are,
right?
and it's just like he thought that was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like until someone says, "Fuck off,"
Yeah.
it's gonna keep happening. And obviously he has money, so he can be like,
I guess
his X
just
amount
get
of money doesn't
more-
mean anything to him, but somebody's like, "Oh, a couple grand to look the other way." Sure.
It's easy to see how you can get detached from reality when those things just fall into your lap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm sure it doesn't help mental health issues. I'm sure it...
It's just a power trip more often.
Yeah.
It's a power trip and knowing that, I can just pay my way out of it, or I can do this, that, and the other, say something else, and get access to these ridiculous things.
Yeah, I think like ultimately being given like creative mode essentially just unlocks that person's hidden desires and nature that they can get away with that they would have probably dampened down or not been able to do had they not had the funds to do it and the access.
But yeah, I think it's like a frame of mind thing, and yeah, I think he's fucked
So
up.
if you had a mech though,
But back to the mech. Yeah.
Back to a Chinese
got those
government-controlled
plates
mech.
you're invincible and you've got these thoughts going on.
What if we could engage people within those mechs,
Yeah.
so it prevented them from doing these things?
Oh,
And therefore it's like, you're about to do something illegal and crazy, we're taking you the other way. Oh, okay.
Okay,
And
so
we've
you
reported you
Pull
to the
out the
police.
scenario.
you've got mechs,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, well, the exoskeletons.
You got the exoskeleton. Well, so you got mechs.
Basically mechs.
You've got UFO style ships, right? You've got drones. You've got ballistic missiles. You know, which one would you go for if you had to do a build of? Would you think mechs would win that fight, or do you think it's all about the ballistic missile still, or UFOs? Like, if you had to pick one to arm your nation with, what would you go for?
It wouldn't be mechs.
It wouldn't be mechs.
UFOs, because if it's unidentified, then you've got the one up on the...
Because they just can't target you.
Well, they obviously
We
don't know what's
just don't
going
know
on.
what that is. We don't know what that is. Yeah.
Have you seen the videos of the flying Tic Tacs?
I have seen the Tic Tac video, yes.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because the ones that Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 fame, now of UFO obsessed fame, he released a video, didn't he? And that was proven to be verified by the military.
Yeah.
So they
Maybe we should stop laughing at Tom DeLonge.
Of course, we could stop laughing, but it is still kind of funny that he moved on to such a bizarre thing.
Yeah.
What if he...
Well, there was a song called Aliens Exist. Great song as well. Aliens
So
Exist.
it's something that he was very passionate about from the beginning, of course.
Sorry, Troll, what were you going
What
to
if
say?
he's got this? What if he's the first to make first contact, and then we're all laughing at this guy that ditched his music career?
Where are you? You've just got
In the middle of a wheat
screaming.
field, just screaming at the sky.
Where are you? He's there just making a crop like, oh my god, he's sculpting in the.
To be fair, he walked away from the mess that is the reuniting of Blink-182.
Yeah, and Angels and Airwaves, which
they
was
wouldn't
also
have to
terrible.
reunite if they didn't split up. But yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I mean,
they
look,
could have left it where they.
Let's
where it
just
was.
be happy for the fantastic music that Blink-182 gave us, and also
And that
accept.
they get to continue working. For a living
Yes, that's
in
great.
Something they're passionate about, and sure, I won't listen to it.
I won't listen to
But
it.
it
Angels and
exists.
Airwaves? No, I don't think I will listen to that.
There were a couple of songs I liked from that. Did you hear Plus 44?
No.
That's Mark's personal side project. Although I think it also had Travis in. So it was essentially...
Plus 44, like the UK International Dialing Code.
Yeah.
Is that what it's meant to be?
I think he moved to the UK. I guess...
And that was the best idea for a band name he could come up with.
They made some alright tracks.
Code.
Wow. Well, 3 digits in our last band work. Let's put 2 in ours.
Yeah, let's put the 2.
Smart.
But yeah, I like Blink-182.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
it was
big fan.
Huge back in secondary school.
I think that the Tic Tac thing, like all that, for a little while, every so often I look back at it and I'm like, I go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Someone asked a question on our thoughts on UFOs.
Did they?
Alien life. I think it's there somewhere.
I want them to be real.
Yeah.
In a way. Because I think that would be so much more interesting than just...
It's sightings that are real.
The video footage is quite compelling, but again, like... It's like that series we watched.
Yeah, but have you seen Craig's After Effects changing my shirt?
Sorry? Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said. So
anything could happen.
Anything's
that looked so
possible.
real.
So I would like to think...
Yeah, there you go. Adam.
Do you believe in aliens? I think that it's extremely unlikely that in the vastness of our universe that there aren't other forms of life. And I know that to form us, it took a huge series of very, very unlikely circumstances, but... infinite monkeys, infinite typewriters. However, I don't think any of the things that we've seen, including that Tic Tac, is anything more than very advanced military technology.
Potentially, yeah.
So, I've seen some of this. I read into a little bit of this, and it might all be absolute bollocks. But
are you going to Tom DeLonge us? It's basically
I'm not going to Tom DeLonge.
Are you going to leave Hat Film so you pursue a UFO?
So in the 1960s, okay. Yeah. We still didn't know that cigarettes were particularly bad for you. You know, like the 1960s was a...
the coughing wasn't enough.
The commercial flight had only been a thing for a very short time. They probably thought it was bad, but...
They were being sold the message that it was okay.
So...
ooh, that smooth taste.
Exactly. Lucky. Watch Mad Men. But yeah, commercial flight wasn't that common. In the 1960s, we had... we didn't. The US had the Blackbird, the SR-51 or whatever it was. A supersonic Mach 2, Mach 3 jet that could outrun missiles, right? This thing could whip across whole countries in minutes,
just
seconds.
A stealth bomber.
So remember it was the one with the 2 tubes, the Blackbird. It's a Blackbird. They nicknamed the Blackbird. It has the 2 tubes. It looks like the X-Men fighter.
Was it that they made it small enough that it wouldn't appear on radar, or was it that it could...
All sorts of things. So it could go up very, very high.
Heat detection.
Yeah, go up high. So the body of the aircraft would contract and expand.
Yeah,
and
that was it, because it flicks out the...
which would mean things like when it was stationary, it would leak fuel through the cracks in the body because of the way it worked. But it's incredibly advanced, and it could do insane things and go incredibly quickly. We've had 50, 60 more years of development on top of that. And yes, certain things have come on a long way, but I think that it's not unfeasible to think, right, let's look at 50 to 60 years of military advancement in technology. We had something going Mach 3 or whatever. There's been a lot of gravitational wave research and all this sort of kind of stuff. Again, I would not pertain to know anything about, but I don't think it's impossible to create something that could, move at lightning speeds, inertial dampening, all this sci-fi shit.
And they've got to test it somehow, right?
Yeah, well, everybody has satellites. What edge do nations have on top of... nations are always looking for edges in terms of military technology. And, what edge do we have on satellites now? I don't know. I think it's far more likely that it's an incredibly advanced piece of human technology than it is some aliens pissing around looking
and
at us.
Just wandering around randomly trying to...
The counter-argument is... You're talking about the unlikeliness of us existing. It's also... equally plausible that the unlikeliness of us also being next to another alien entity is just as plausible.
Yeah.
In some way, dogs are aliens.
But amateur...
Octopus are aliens.
Amateur stargazing.
Crazy.
Octopus, cephalopods are amazing. Yeah.
They're changing colours.
Have you seen the octopus in my house on BBC iPlayer?
Oh, sorry, I thought you had one. I have seen that one, because he kept this huge tank.
Yeah, and he studied it. Brilliant, so cool.
Well, it's the base biological makeup of an octopus is so completely detached from the tree of life that almost everything else exists in.
Yep.
And it can't be put in the same category.
So the same common ancestor, the last common ancestor that we had, bearing in mind I think humans are related to 95 point something another percent
of a banana,
all life on Earth.
Yeah.
Cephalopods, or octopus, I think they're part of cephalopods. Their last common ancestor with us was a prehistoric plant that lived under the sea.
Yeah.
That was
insane.
it's so cool. It's so cool.
I mean,
Two
what if there
different
was
meters just colliding.
are there creatures in the sea that are made purely of like brain matter? Maybe there are floating brains in the sea.
Maybe.
I mean, what are brains made of? Just cells, right? Clusters of
Essentially,
cells.
why not? Yeah, it's possible, right?
It's possible.
Let's
Ross.
hunt for the brains.
Yeah.
You want to go brain
we
hunting?
should go
Brain
brain
hunting.
hunting.
Got a
right
live one!
now. I got a live one. Ugh.
I think
My
that's the
God,
best way to
it's
do
stinking.
science. The best way to do science is to assume something like that exists
Yeah.
until proven otherwise.
We're hunting for the brain. We've been
What?
at it for 6 weeks.
That
No. The
isn't-
brain matter exists. Prove me wrong.
brain
brain
matter does exist.
matter.
No, is it like as an organism under the sea?
No, you, the
Can we
burden of
just
proof
call it
lies
brain?
with you.
No. I'm determined.
Well, I think that there's several
this is
talking
flat Earth
teapots.
theory in action.
Yeah, exactly. This is why it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
I believe this.
yeah.
You proved me wrong.
Okay. All right.
What are we going to call it though? Because obviously, like, you can't just call it brain matter. Just a
Sea brain.
sea brain.
Sea brain.
hmm
Sea brain.
There we go. We've combined sea and the word brain.
Look, it's in sea. Looks like brain.
It's sea brain.
Sea brain. So yeah, we'll find the sea
Any
brain.
other of
almost.
these articles like really catching your eye? Yeah.
Well, I could read a few headlines. There was a scooter vandal.
Sorry, that's the world's most biggest gathering of Nigels. And all things Nigels. I love
all
this.
things
See,
Nigelness.
This
attracts-
is coming off our talk the other day where only 3 people born this year were called Nigel, right?
That was 2017.
2017.
Okay, well, it's
But
probably
there's
gone up, obviously.
433 Nigels gathered in the world's biggest gathering of Nigels.
Is that 3 in this country?
I don't know.
Is that 3 in the world?
presume
Because
that
who?
It's world.
2017, only 3 Nigels were born in the UK.
There's loads of Nigels.
Look
in
at
China.
all these Nigels.
That's so many Nigels.
With the
Nigel on the right there.
How
Look
many
at
young
Nigel.
Nigels are there, though? There's one young.
There's one.
There's one
I
young
mean, we
right in the
can't
middle.
presume that all these people are called Nigel.
Why
guys.
not? You can call a woman Nigel if you want.
You can, but I believe
Nigella?
I
Could that count?
I think
it'd
a
be
lot of friends and family
maybe,
went
yeah.
with Nigel.
I think
Yeah.
Nigella
to see
should
other
be there.
Nigels.
Nigella should count.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She should be there cooking.
Well, let's read
Just
the article a bit.
in the
We'll probably
back.
get more information.
Oh, just pictured her.
That's such a great picture credit. Nigel.
Do you reckon they counted?
and Nigel.
Do you reckon they counted?
Oh, I
How
don't
many
know.
Nigels?
Some fucker did. Look at that.
Never and all that
They've
is
put
Nigel.
so many Nigels.
The
in the
photographer's
picture
name was
credits.
Dave. That's a shame, isn't it? Never of all Nigel. Never.
Why was he allowed in?
Nigel.
Why
has
was
so
he allowed in? The photographer's called
Dave.
Dave. I'm
What's
sure
your
they
name,
can find
mate?
a Nigel that.
Do they
can
do an
carry a
ID
camera.
check for everybody?
I guess so. Some 433 people with the same name gathered at a pub over the weekend to celebrate Nigelness. The party at the Fleece in Worcestershire is believed to have set the record for the number of Nigels gathered. It was organised by landlord Nigel Smith,
Perfect.
56.
Smith.
That's Nigel
Nigel
Smith.
Smith,
Oh
a
man.
cousin of mine. I've always felt that the name's much maligned. People would say to me when I was young, Nigel. That's got to be a joke, hasn't it?
Joke name.
Wow, an asshole.
Why does Nigel sound like a joke name?
I
There's
don't
so many
know.
other names that sound
Nigel's
like joke
fine.
names.
Nigel's the main villain in our Minecraft series.
What about the name Clarissa? That sounds like a joke name.
Clarissa
Yeah.
sounds like a sauce
Or
you
like
might
a
mix with new
magical-
potatoes.
Or like a magic trick.
I think we got someone that watches our
Magic.
films called Clarissa.
Clarissa,
Yeah.
I think, is more common in
Clarissa,
the US
if
than it
you're
is here.
watching, are you
Sorry.
in Harry Potter?
Are you in Harry
Clarissa.
And can you?
I'm surprised you fixated on Clarissa. Clarice? What about Clarice? I'm going to call my first child Clarice.
Potter? What about Clantine?
This is about Nigels. We're taking the attention away
Clantine.
from
It's
Nigels.
just
now.
Canteen with an L in it. Clantine.
Hey, what a beautiful name, Clantine.
Clantine.
Call me
So
Clan.
they basically just had a really a
Call
piss
me
up.
Clan.
All the Nigels had a piss up.
Yeah.
Look at all these
Celebrating their name.
Nigels.
It doesn't help that, like, I don't think many of these people are doing much for the perception of British people on the internet, are they?
No.
Jesus, look at Nigel on the
Nigel
left there.
Knight.
Okay, now, wait, hold on, go up.
How many
Go
Nigels?
up.
How many
Nigel
Nigels could
Knight.
you name?
He looks like the character that Ricky Gervais played in that.
It does bit, yeah.
Who was that guy? He had that series. Ricky Gervais played.
Derek?
Derek.
Derek, yeah, this guy.
Oh, he also looks like the guy off Friday Night Dinner. You know,
Oh
the guy
yeah,
that walks
yeah,
the dog, the
with
German
the
Shepherd.
Alsatian. Yeah, the guy's got the Alsatian. Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, we do have a YouTube channel where all the
You can
visuals
see
are
this, yeah.
available.
But I'm explaining it so
Hashtag
well.
Yogscast.
You
It
are.
looks
Yeah,
like the guy
YouTube.
from Friday Night Dinner who annoys them, the neighbour with the German Shepherd.
Oh,
There were no Nigellas.
Oh,
Ah.
no.
Oh.
How many Nigels could you name though? There's Nigel Mansell.
The whole thing was a ruse to
There's
get Nigella Lawson along.
Nigel. There's
Should-
Dirty Nigel who lived down the road.
It says we didn't have any celebrity
Nigel,
Nigels.
the F1 driver.
Nigel
Nigel
Farage.
Mansell.
Is that Nigel Mansell?
There's
is it?
Nigel Mansell, isn't it? Can we get some F1 facts from Craig?
Nigel Farage,
Yeah.
Nigel.
Yeah, Nigel Farage. He's the
F1 driver.
F1 driver.
Is Nigel Mansell the only Nigel from F1 you can think of?
Is that his name?
Yeah, I can't
Obviously,
think of anymore.
You got Nigel Mandela.
Do you think Farage was there? It seems like his kind of piss up.
Nigel Mandela. Is that actually his name?
Nigel.
What was it?
Mandela.
Nelson.
Got in your head. But then, to be fair, I googled Nigel Farage because I've said Nigel so many times. I don't know. Nigel Benn, British boxer. I recognise that name.
The most famous Nigels.
It's fictional characters.
Whoa, there's a. We can see the rise and fall of Nigel. as a
Notable
name.
men named Nigel.
Oh, there is. There's a. If you scroll up, Craig. So
in 1840, there was one recorded Nigel.
Is that what that is?
1852, 1861, 77, and then it starts
Christ.
really kicking off
In the
in the 50s.
1950s.
There was
really takes
1,943, and then 60s, 4,300.
Oh, Nigel.
Who is doing this? Who's counting all this shit?
All those records.
Census.
The
Yeah,
census.
censuses.
Nigels.
This is in England.
And it goes really down from 1980.
63.
It starts to.
So 60 to 63 was like peak Nigel.
Yeah.
Something
Nigel.
happened
So
in the
they're about-
1970s to just kill.
Someone must have been famous that was called Nigel. Because people have been calling like their kids now names from fucking Game
What,
of
in the
Thrones and
60s,
shit.
maybe? Yeah.
So it's probably some sort of famous character.
Yeah. Man, I think if a person names their child after like whatever is currently popular, they should have that child taken away from them.
It's
Why?
when it's a weird name.
Well, so
I
if you
think.
call
If
your
it's-
kid like Khaleesi or something like that, like
I
sorry,
don't know,
but
I mean, that's not too bad. There are some really extreme weird names though. Surely, like I mean,
Sorry,
Khaleesi's
not extreme or
it's
weird.
kind of weird.
it's
kind of weird.
it's the word queen made up in the fictional language of an American bloke.
Yeah. But let me just find the
It's like
weirdest
saying,
names.
sorry, Dobby
Weirdest
isn't a weird
name.
name. You know?
Dobby. Now that would be a great name.
What was the dog from Neverending Story called?
I don't know. Can't remember. Don't remember.
There's a guy who called himself Samsung. Mr. Perv. Why'd you name
Wow.
yourself that? That doesn't make any sense. There must have been
Sardman.
Sad Man.
P.
Ennis. Fuck me. Chris P. Bacon. Oh my god.
They're just doing joke names
Yeah,
now.
it's just
Someone called themselves Hitler Mussolini. I can't believe that's a real
Wow.
name. That looks like
Hello.
a typo.
Dick Long.
Dick. Look at the smiling face in this guy. Sorry, I found a
there's no way that it's 1945.
Paul Tucock.
Nice.
Mike Litteris. I mean, there's so many. I mean,
No,
that's
that
not the
can't
name.
Be a real
Oh,
surname.
That's their name, Cooking with Pooh.
that's not their name, though, is it?
It's not.
Siud Di Wong.
I'm guessing their name is Pooh, guys.
Mo
Pooh.
Lester.
Oh, Pooh, yeah.
Mo Lester.
Oh, bless him. Rest in peace. He died August 11th, 2008.
2008.
Slipped away from us, it says. In loving memory of my husband who slipped away from us.
That's
That
a
makes it
weird
sound like
way.
he's a fucking
Whoa,
eel.
oh, there we go.
Oh, he's bloody gone.
Mo!
What day? Have you got the time?
Mr. Lester.
Mo Lester died. He slipped away
We oiled
down
him
that
up.
gutter.
We oiled him up too much.
Well, young Mo, you need to carry on your father's legacy. You know, you may be a child now, but one day you'll grow up to be an adult molester.
I guess. If
From the mountains,
if Mo
you'll
Lester
shout,
Senior died, does Mo
Mo
Lester Junior take that mantle?
Yeah.
And there's no longer a junior. Do they just strike that off?
They take on the clerical.
you are now Mo
roles.
Lester.
You are now the Mo Lester. It's like Black Panther.
Yeah.
So you
But
got
Mo Lester.
Don't slip away.
Mo Lester Jr.,
Mo Lester.
Mo Lester Senior.
Child molester, adult molester.
That's easier, isn't
Yeah.
it? Easier to distinguish.
There's a guy from the military here, Major Dicky Head,
Wow.
Dr. Farts. They spell it farts. Jesus condom is not
Jesus
someone's name.
condom.
Dr. Fats.
These are just names we're reading
I
out.
can't. But yeah,
Silly names we're reading out.
because someone calls themselves Mrs. Rape. That's not a name.
That
That can't be. She's a kindergarten teacher.
One called FU there.
Are you fucking kidding me? A kindergarten teacher called Mrs. Rape.
Dr.
That's a
Shit
class you don't
Fun
look forward
Chew.
to, is it?
Shit Fun Chew.
Cash register.
There's a guy called Cash Register. It
Oh,
starts with
man.
a K.
Cash
Um,
register.
Anyway, any more?
Gay neighbours. Can't be a name.
Wow.
How many people are called gay is the question. Because that was in the Meet the Fockers, wasn't it?
Gay Farquaad.
Gaylord.
Or
Gaylord
Ga-
Focker. And I
yeah.
feel like either he was just...
No,
you know, taking
Gaylord was definitely a name for a period of time.
Gaylord.
any people.
Lord of the Gay.
I used to know some people with the surname Gaylord.
There are 6,605 people called Gaylord
in
in the
UK?
US.
In the US, 6,000.
Yes. With
That's
more than 99.9% of people with the first name Gaylord are male.
Why is it Gaylord Perry?
Well, that's that person's
that's the
name. I
person.
guess they're doing a research in seeing how many people are called Gaylord.
Say,
Is there
do
a
you think
guy-
it's perhaps pronounced Gaylord?
Potentially, yeah.
Because I think it's quite a
Gaylord.
nice looking word.
Gaylord could
Like,
work. It's just the fact that when you separate the two words, it makes gay lord,
Yeah.
and then it just seems like you're taking the piss.
It was used as a derogative term, or like just a.
it
one of
was,
those, like-
yeah.
yeah.
But then again,
In
I guess
school.
Not even that long ago, really. Like,
No.
like when
I think
we
I
were
watched
at
a
school.
Peep Show episode when someone used it casually, and I was like,
Uh,
"Oh God, really?" Like, but
All right, Gaylord. That
now,
sort
if
of
you say
thing.
it's kind of weird, it's just, you wouldn't.
It's much more meaning.
Also, it's just
Gay also means happy.
exactly. Well, yeah. This is the thing. I'm guessing it's probably come from that at some
Yeah.
point. You know, like happy with the Lord or something. You know, Gaylord.
Happy Lord.
I don't know. Names
the
are
thing.
weird, aren't they? Especially all
Well,
the
it's like the
Happy.
swastika symbol. Like the swastika means to us a horrendous, regime and Hitler and stuff. But flip the other way around, where it's pointing the other way, it's actually like a symbol of peace. So
Hindu.
And,
I think it's Hindu.
I think Ashman said he saw
It's used in multiple
he
things.
saw it
Is it
everywhere
not
when he was in Japan.
rebirth?
Or something
Is it
like that. I'm
rebirth?
not sure whether it's but it's basically a good thing.
Mm.
But he said it was shocking seeing it everywhere. Like,
Is it commonly put on
God.
a white dot on a red background or not?
I don't know. With the star? No.
I think
The
that's
sun?
probably.
That's a different message.
Yeah,
the rising
well,
sun.
Well, no, but I mean, like the Nazi symbol was like a black on white on red, wasn't it? So I'm guessing,
right, yeah.
as in the black swastika goes onto the white dot with a red background. Like, do they do that as well, or is it just?
I don't think so. I don't think it was the same color setup.
I doubt
it's
it.
just
I
seeing,
doubt it would
but
be.
seeing that symbol in any color is kind of like that doesn't look good to us
Yeah,
in our culture.
it was it was the enemy's standard from the last Great World War. Makes sense that it should, strike some fear into you, eh?
Yeah.
Strike a bit of fear into you. Just
but-
like when things say "Made in Vietnam" on them flashbacks.
See, I found this article searching for funny news, and it's not necessarily funny, but there's a family that were outraged after a Universal character, Gru from Minions, the guy that Steve Carell plays,
Yeah.
made an OK symbol on their 6-year-old's shoulder in a photo, right? And the OK symbol being like the one that you use when you put it on like low and then you punch them on the arm.
Oh,
Apparently now
the upside down one.
it's being considered a racist thing to use this symbol, and I didn't know that. And it's being used by people who support far right. That
Is
seems
it?
that doesn't. I've never heard of that.
I refuse to.
And
let
that's what
that
this
be
article's
taken.
about. The family were pissed off because they were like, this Disney character or whatever character he is taking the piss
that.
and doing something racist on my child's shoulder. But it's just like, I think they're reading into it a bit fucking far. I mean, you can see there he is. He's making the ring, and it's like that.
He is very obviously doing that.
So I'm either he is.
It's
But
not
I'll be
like-
honest, like at school, like if you did that below the knee or below your waist, and you
It's
go,
like
mate, did you drop your drop something? It's like, oh no, I can fucking hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess.
Which is a kind of a thing that Gru would do, right? The character Gru would he do that kind of thing? You think?
But is that
Probably,
the
I don't
same? I guess America does do it all the time, right? Because it's on Reddit everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like Pepe, the fucking frog.
Yeah,
Was
these
it's now a
things-
racist symbol or some shit?
I
Like
think
what the fuck? Why are these
ultimately-
racists taking these weird
Ultimately,
things? And
just don't listen to that and don't be offended
Yeah, but
by
if
that.
I keep
and
doing
don't,
it.
don't make
allow
that
them to take it.
meaning. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't give it that meaning.
Don't-
So, oh no, that doesn't
yeah.
mean that.
Don't
that just
be
means
offended
this.
by it. Don't
Oh,
allow them to be.
yeah.
It turns out the guy in the costume wanted that to mean something to do with that. So, oh no, that guy's a racist. It's not like that symbol is racist. The person
and he's
using
hiding
it.
behind Gru, a character from a film.
Or
Racist.
neither he nor the gesture he's doing
Yeah.
is racist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're not putting him under.
No,
Oh, no.
exactly. No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like,
he has such a smiley face.
oh look, the kid's
But
doing it
it's-
as well.
The kid's
kid is
doing
doing
what
it as
Thomas
well.
is
Doing it.
basically doing. what the fuck-
Racist.
Racism.
We have no-
But I actually have no context on why that is
no
racist. So
context
if
at
someone
all.
can fill me in at some point, you can email us at hatchat at
And hit his prostate.
that'd be
Tap
great
that
because
prostate.
the context of that is missing. Just like this whole pizza place is now a paedophile den thing with the Hillary. Remember that?
Hillary had a paedophile ring under
Oh.
a popular
Yeah.
pizza
Yes.
place in
Yeah.
Washington
Yeah.
D.C.
Yeah.
We went there all the time, didn't we?
We tried to find it.
We tried. Hey, there's some really great pizza.
Oh shit! That also reminds me of another
What's the
article which I
keyword?
saw earlier on where there was
got
like
1
there was
minute.
like a pro-Trump rally and they were like trying to group somewhere and apparently they got thrown out of this fairground place
Oh.
and they ended up going to a pizza place. That's the long and short of it.
Oh, I see.
And so the irony of that is strong and hilarious
I see.
because they used that as a huge crutch against her campaign.
Lol.
But there's loads more other news stories that we could probably go into, but we don't have
We'll
time
save 'em.
for that. So
There's so much more we can misconstrue.
there really
Yeah.
is. There's so many kind of assumptions we can make about things, and technology we can get wrong. We've probably got the mech suit.
And how the
we keep calling
prostate
it a
works.
mech suit. It's not a mech suit. It's
It's
like
a
an
mech suit.
exoskeleton
It's a mech
that
suit.
apparently only works a little bit. But sure, it sounds
Imagine
like a
how
great
powerful you'd feel in a mech suit.
idea. I know.
It won't be long before they're selling magazines where you make your own.
Yeah.
I'm
And,
one day.
30 years, we'll all have to have them, and then if something goes wrong, we then get sent to base.
Yeah. Recall.
Fuck.
Product recall.
Recall.
It's like a
Recall.
holiday.
I'm still in mine.
Oh, my arm's locked.
I'm gonna rip the lid off this office one day and just be like,
It doesn't make you bigger.
Well, you could make a
my
big.
mech suit
Yeah.
does.
He's a
Yours-
tiny guy at the back in the
Just
head,
a
just
tiny-
go controlling the
With
thing.
a lever system.
Yeah.
With a very arbitrary forward and backward lever system.
You got you got those goggles on your head, steampunk up there. You just got
Why
soot
is
all
this
over your
run on
face. Yeah.
coal? Why don't we run this mech on coal?
It's like the villain from Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
The fucking
Steam
Spider
spider.
legs, yeah. The Meccano like spider legs.
Oh god.
Is that film to blame for steampunk? Maybe.
I don't think
I don't
it's
think that
that's
film
not to
is.
blame. God, it's Wild Wild West. What a
That
claim
and
to give
more.
them. Yeah.
yeah,
fucking hell.
steampunk's such a weird one.
Anyway,
Yes.
That's a thing
that's
for
a
another
whole
time.
different discussion.
It is a whole different discussion.
We hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Thank you hugely to our Patreon supporters for
course.
allowing this to continue. You can check Patreon.
Do you know what it
out.
looks like? Our Patreon looks like this. Because they're propping us up.
Oh, right. I see.
And obviously you
I thought
can't
were
you
gonna
can't
have
hear that, but I'm straining because I'm lifting us all up. And
you'll
we're
all
quite
be-
heavy collectively.
If you're
Weirdly,
a
that's-
patron, you'll be credited at the end.
Also, the
You
sound he
know.
makes fishing for his prostitute.
Yeah.
Prostitute.
Oh, wow.
Prostate.
What
Oh
a
my, you've
Freudian
said so many
slip.
keywords. That
What a Freudian
Prostitute.
another story here was a refund. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Anyway,
refund from a prostitute. I
Yeah.
think that's why I said
That's
it.
the headline. It's good. I like that one though.
Sure. But yeah, check out
What are
the
you saying? You
credits at the
suggesting
end.
that I use prostitutes? That's why I said it.
You
It's
can't
on
get a
the-
refund though. This article explains you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
bollocks.
Yeah, please send in your fingals and questions to hatchat@hat-films.com, and we'll see you next time we do a hat chat.
We will.
I've posted that question to Yahoo Answers. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
I'll get that refund.
Can I get a refund from a prostitute, please? Fingers crossed. Join us next time. Ta-ra!
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, nice.